what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a Switch/gaming my 2 cent video for this week, where I take a look at some of the gaming and Switch news that came out and give you my thoughts and my opinion of it. And we have about 3 for this week. So we'll start off with the first one, and the first one has to do with Fire Emblem Warriors, both on certain options available for the game and a collector's edition. So we'll start off with the first one story right here, and it points out that it points out is that Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch has the option to drop the resolution for a higher frame rate. This is from an article from Destructoid. Links will be in the description of this video, so you can check it out and read the article yourself. But it points out that according to what they're saying, in this month's issue of Japanese magazine Nintendo Dreams, more details were discussed about the upcoming Fire Emblem Warriors. One of which is very important, dealing regarding to the casual and classic mode that will be available, and the other one is a brand new detail and at least according to this writer, easily the best feature in the game to date, the choice to decrease the resolution in order to have a higher frame rate. It states that during development they focus on a 1080p resolution with a frame rate of 30 frames per second. While no reason was given, the option to increase 60 frames per second will lower the resolution to 720p. In addition, it was not specific if this will only work while the Switch is docked, or it can also be used for in portable mode. My guess is that it sounds like this is an option available when docked as well. It also points out the classic and casual mode have had a little bit of new information drop as well. Players are able to switch between classic mode, permadeath death mode, in which basically if your character dies, they're not coming back, that's it, they're done or anything, to casual mode at any point, which has been used in some of the Fire Emblem games recently, where if your character dies or defeated in the battle, either they'll reappear again in the next battle, but they won't reappear in that battle. Although Fire Emblem Fate had a different mode than Fire Emblem Echoes, but it still followed the same approach though. When they do, any character that was previously lost will be revived. In a way, it could be viewed as an anti-frustration mechanic for those that don't want to start from scratch on a botch run. That being said, you'll be unable to switch from classic to casual mode, likely to avoid abusing the revive function. In other words, if you picked basically the casual mode, pretty much you are stuck with it. In other words, you won't be able to switch out from casual to go to classic. At least that's what the article is saying. It also points out, though, if I could get that as well. So we also want to point out that a special edition for Fire Emblem Warriors has been announced for the Nintendo Switch as well. According to BusinessWire.com, it points out that finds out a special edition of Fire Emblem Warriors game for the Nintendo Switch. It points out that the special edition will come with the Nintendo Switch game, obviously, plus 3 CDs with music from the game. Fans will also receive a character art on a 5x7-inch premium cardstock and a slipcase to hold the cards. Finally, the special edition will come with a dual-side poster showing the first Fire Emblem games the characters appear. On the side of the poster will be in English, while the others will be in Japanese. The special edition will go on sale October 20th at a suggested retail price of $79.99, $80 here in the US, the same day the game launches for the Nintendo Switch and the new Nintendo 3DS XL and new Nintendo 2DS XL. Obviously, it appears as though the special edition only seems to apply to the Switch version. It doesn't seem like there will be one for the 3DS version, as far as I know. Okay, first of all, I have to say, as far as the graphic option goes, this wasn't the first game that has had this option before. In fact, if for those who may remember, earlier this year, Koei Tecmo released the game Noih, N-O-I-H, if I'm spelling the name correctly. Pardon me if I'm not spelling it correctly, though. Which it gave you the option to basically, you can either play the game with a higher resolution, but have it at 30 frames per second, or at a lower resolution, but maintain the game at a 60 frames per second. While I certainly would have liked the game to run at a 1080p 60 frames per second, especially when docked though, if I had to choose between either having a higher resolution or a solid frame rate, I have to say, if I had to choose between those two, I would go with the solid frame rate. I think having a solid 60 frames per second frame rate is way more important than having a higher resolution. Now, I'm not saying graphics aren't unimportant or anything like that, but I think a lot of gamers would rather prefer to have that 60 frames per second than that 30 frames per second. You could really tell the difference between in terms of the gameplay and so on. So it's nice that they're offering this option. I mean, again, would I have preferred a 1080p 60 frames per second? Yes, I would have preferred that, but between the two, but I'm glad they're at least giving you the option to choose between a higher resolution or a higher frame rate, though. I think most people would prefer the frame rate and so on, but you know what, that's going to be up to everyone's opinion. But overall, it's nice that they're offering that option for consumers, and I assume, although I could be wrong, but I assume this applies to dock mode only, when games in console mode, when your Nintendo Switch is in console mode. I don't know if it's going to apply to if you're playing the game in portable or tablet mode. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's highly unlikely, but again, who knows? That it's possible they might offer 60 frames per second even when in portable and in portable/tablet mode. But we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm glad they're offering that option. As far as the special edition goes, again, that's going to be based on some people's taste. Some people may like the special editions, some people may not like it though. It's nice that we're getting one for Fire Emblem Warriors. I mean, there were some people complaining that Europe was getting one, us here in the US weren't, but it looks like we will be getting one after all, coming out October 20th though. Whether or not it's worth the $80 to spend, that's entirely up for you to decide on that one. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, I'm going to give you my thoughts of the announcement of No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Back. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video, and for this one, we're going to be talking about the announcement that came out that I think has gotten a lot of people's attention, and I believe last time I checked it was trending at number 12 on YouTube, and that is the announcement of No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Back. Now, I'm pretty sure most people who saw the Nintendo Switch event back in January know that Suda51 announced a game starring Travis Touchdown, even though it wasn't called No More Heroes 3, even though some of us would love to have seen No More Heroes 3, basically announced that he's doing a game starring Travis in terms of collaborating with, if I'm saying the name wrong, with several other indie characters that has been released over the years. And well, later this month though, we finally got to see Travis's new adventure, even though technically no gameplay has been shown yet, of Travis Touchdown's brand new game. From a post posted on several sites, including Digital Trend, again, link will be in the description below. Basically it says, let's see, okay, alright, where is it? Okay. Grasshopper Manufacturers has partnered with indie studios for at least some of these games. The trailer showed off Hotline Miami, which was pretty obvious to point out, so we know that the 2012 hit will be one of the challenges. Suda also revealed that Yacht Club's game Shovel Knights will be included during a live stream event on August 31st. The indie game challenge will be accomplished by the actions of No More Heroes franchise has been known for. Travis will once again use his beam katana to slaughter hordes of enemies and bosses. And of course, my Nintendo's pointing out that the game is, at least according to what Suda said, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is a raucous 3D action title where Travis's touchdowns lead the beam katana to massacre his way through countless enemies, taking on ferocious bosses in an epic battle with Badman. That was the other character along with Travis in the trailer, on the trailer as well. This marks the first time in 10 years that Suda51 has taken on the mantle of director. I will say I am excited. I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed a lot of Suda51's games. I remember playing his first game back in 2005, Killer 7 on the Nintendo GameCube, followed by playing No More Heroes 1 and 2, which were some of my personal favorite on the Wii. Shadows of the Dam, that was a great game on the PS3, along with Lollipop Chainsaw and Killer is Dead, even though some people were not a big fan of that one. And his recent release, Let It Die, came out, and I thought that was a fun game, despite the fact that it was a free-to-play style of a game. So, hearing this announcement that he is making another No More Heroes game is coming to the Switch certainly makes me happy, though, even though technically it isn't No More Heroes 3, but we do know a couple of other details, such as the fact that the game is also, at least according to the trailer, basically is running on the Unreal 4 engine, which certainly is nice. I'm glad that's good. That's running on that engine, considering that the Switch does support Unreal 4 engine as well. And like I said earlier, there isn't really a whole lot of gameplay to show off, though. But I am curious to see how this is going to work out, especially since he's collaborating with several other indie studios that produce Shovel Knights and Hotline Miami as well. So I'm a little bit curious of how that one is going to work out. But I will say I am very pleased, and I'm very happy that Suda51 is bringing Travis Touchdown back for another outing, another No More Heroes outing, even if it's not No More Heroes 3, or even if it's not being called like that. We'll hopefully have to wait and see until 2018 when the game comes out. Supposedly that will be around the 10th anniversary since the first No More Heroes comes out. So hopefully we'll see some gameplay of some actual gameplay of the game soon. And while we're at it, I'm hoping that while we wait for that game to come out, hopefully they can remake the first two No More Heroes games for the Nintendo Switch. No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. Both of these are great games. But overall, glad Suda51 is making another No More Heroes game. That definitely put a smile on my face. I mean, I may have not freaked out over it like most people did with the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, but it definitely did put a smile on my face. Okay, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about a little bit about NBA 2K 18 and some comments and a response to sort of what Commonwealth Realm did a video about Nintendo and third parties. I want to give my thoughts about that. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the third and final part of our video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at NBA 2K 17 and a comment on my response to basically a video that Commonwealth Realm recently did. As some of you all know, NBA 2K has been announced not only for the PS4 and Xbox One, which is pretty obvious, but also to the Nintendo Switch. Excuse me, and some of the stuff that 2K is doing for it, and it sounds similar to what they're doing at WWE 2K as well, has caught some people's attention to it though, and caught some people's interest into possibly getting the Switch version. From an article posted on Game Informers, it points out everything we know about the Switch version of NBA 2K. It points out that this is a full-feature game. It says that EA may be struggling to deliver the FIFA experience for the Switch in line with the other versions, but Visual Concept has accomplished that challenge and delivered. The Switch version of NBA 2K18 I thought I said 17. My bad. 2K18 has all the major modes coming to the other consoles. Whether you want to build a franchise in my GM, which stands for my general manager, create an online franchise with friends in my league, become the next NBA superstar of my career, construct a team via card collecting my team, flex your skills in my park or Pro AM. All these modes are included in the game. The only feature that will be left out for the Switch version is custom logo creation for Pro AM, PRO-AM team. Another thing it points out is that the Switch version uses the same engine as the PS4 and Xbox One version. Visual concepts did not have to go backwards to move forward with the Switch version. The game features the same animation AI and controls as the PS4 and Xbox One version. That says there is obviously a delta when it comes to graphic infidelity and performance. The Switch version looks good on the small screen, but the graphics are noticeably a step down, which to some degree is not surprising. To a certain degree, though. The game also runs at 30 frames per second instead of the 60 frames per second the other consoles enjoy. That might be an issue for some people, though. While I don't see this game as like a high demanding or a type of a game like say like other like maybe certain action adventures games, I won't argue against the fact that some people may have an issue, especially with the Switch version, running at 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second. As I mentioned in my Fire Emblem Warriors, I think a lot of people would rather have a higher frame rate over a higher resolution. We know that the game will support, obviously it will support the Pro Controller, although you can use the Joy-Cons. It points out that expect regular game updates. Nintendo may have an inferior network service to Sony and Microsoft, but that isn't preventing NBA 2K18 from issuing regular games update. Visual Concept says the game will receive regular updates and dates with the PS4, Xbox One, and PC version. That means whenever they push new My Team cards, the roster update, gameplay changes, and the like, the Switch owners won't be left outside looking in. If other publishers are able to follow suit, this could prove a watershed moment for Nintendo's post-launch support. So in other words, it appears to be that 2K, at least according to this article, will be providing support just like they did with the PS4 and Xbox One version, but also to the Switch version. It also points out that the digital download is roughly 25 gigabytes. When I spoke with Visual Concept, they didn't have the final file size nailed down yet, but they expect it to come in around 25 gigabytes. With the constant updates the game gets over the course of the NBA season, you should budget a lot more storage space. However, in other words, you might have to consider investing in a higher micro SD card. This is one area that might confuse some people and might upset some people. It's the retail copy details. The retail version of NBA 2K18 does not have a release date, and the date with the digital version on September 19th. If you want the cartridge, you'll have to wait until October 17th. So in other words, if you want a physical copy of NBA 2K18, you'll have to wait until like October 17th. Meanwhile, the digital version is coming out September 19th, and I can understand why some people are not liking that in any way. Some people may argue maybe it has to do with the file size and so on, and that may be possible but for whatever reason, the game, at least the physical copy, won't be out on time. So yes, it's annoying. Yes, it's great that we're getting it on the same day as the other versions, but it's the digital version that will be coming out, and we'll get the physical version later. I will agree that it's a bit annoying. I'm hoping that by next year, when developers get a better understanding with the system, assuming they're willing to stick around, assuming the Switch continues to do well, that hopefully they'll release the physical version and the digital version on the same day, along with the other versions as well. But overall, it sounds as though that 2K is really putting some time and effort into this, more than I could say with EA's FIFA, even though technically it's been reported that it runs at 1080p 60 frames per second when docked, but it seems that they're really putting some time and effort into this game. Same with WWE 2K that's been going around. I think the big question remains is, will that be enough? Will consumers be willing to pick up this version? Are they planning to buy two versions, such as like a PS4 and Xbox One and a Switch version? Or are they planning to just buy the Switch version alone? So it remains to be seen whether or not this game will, if this game does well on the Nintendo Switch, along with WWE 2K18, even though technically as of right now, we have not seen any screenshots or videos of that game playing at all, even though they are promising that we'll get the same features as what is in the other consoles versions. And I will say it does help 2K in a way, and it does put the game at a better advantage than I will say with FIFA, in which in this case we're missing a lot of features, and given EA's reputation, that doesn't help the situation, doesn't help that game. I mean, hell, even Bethesda has a better chance with Skyrim, given all the features they're putting into that. Now again, I'm not saying that guarantees the game will have a success either. Bear in mind, it is a port. Let's see, that came out 2011. A port of a 6-year-old game, so that still has its disadvantage, but it does look like they're putting time and effort into that one, so it does have a better chance at succeeding. I'm not saying it will succeed or anything else, it does, and so does NBA 2K. So overall, I applaud 2K for putting time and effort into NBA 2K, though. I know sports titles may not be for everyone, but it's good that they are putting actual time and effort into it. The big question is whether or not Nintendo fans will open their wallets up for it, which brings me to one of my responses to the Commonwealth Realm video, which did 2 videos talking about third-party support, which again, links will be in the description below. And I will say they're right on the money on certain areas, though. While the first video kind of, into some degree, kind of came off as saying, buy this game so we can have more third-party support on the Switch, their second video kind of does raise a good point that I have, and it puts Nintendo fans sort of in a awkward position in a way with third-party support. Yes, I think third-party support is very important to have for a system to survive, okay? Yes, but having those exclusives are absolutely important, but you need third-party support to kind of keep you occupied until you build up to that big major first-party support. But the problem is with a lot of third-party support on the Switch is both sides of the coin. On one hand, you have like a group of Nintendo fans who say you only buy Nintendo systems for just playing Nintendo games, which doesn't really help that system at all. As we saw with what happened with the Wii U, there were only Nintendo games on that once third-party support started to disappear, and we all know how the Wii U went downhill very, very quickly. So on one hand, I don't buy that argument that you only play Nintendo games for Nintendo system. Yes, Nintendo games are the cream of the crop for it though, but you need to also have some third-party support to keep you occupied as you build up towards that major release of that first AAA first-party game. But at the same time, third parties in a way do share some of the blame as well. When you do basically port one of your popular games or just do a half-assed job on it, saying here's our popular game, we're not putting any time and effort in it, now if you excuse us, we'll go work on the PS4, Xbox One, PC version, that doesn't help. That really does not help the situation. Okay, if you're going to port your games over to the Switch, we need to see you put time and effort in it. We need to see you give us a reason why we should pick up your games. And this is where I feel that NBA 2K18 and WWE 2K18 and Elder Scrolls Skyrooms do have a greater opportunity, do have a better chance at succeeding than FIFA does, okay? But like I said, I'm not saying they will guaranteed success, and I'm not saying they're going to guarantee that it's going to sell like hotcakes or anything else. But given the fact that they're putting time and effort into these games, though, it has a better chance to succeed, okay? I'm not saying it has a 100% chance it will succeed. It has a better chance, more than I could say about with FIFA, though. Although I could be wrong, and FIFA could succeed as well. And the thing is that if you're going to port your games over to the Switch, if you're going to bring your popular franchise to the Switch, then I expect you to put time and effort into the title, and I expect that I'm going to get close to the exact same version I get on the PS4 and Xbox One. While I expect I'm not going to have the game look visually on the same level as the PS4 and Xbox One, content-wise, I expect to have the same kind of stuff that I expect on the PS4 and Xbox One. You could argue, say, but you could play our popular game on the Switch, which is a portable console, which, yes, that's one of the attractions to the Nintendo Switch, but that selling point can only take you so far. It's going to reach a point where you're going to have to do more than just use that argument. You guys show consumers why it's worth their time and effort to pick up the Switch version, and show that you put actual time and effort into it. And that's sort of the tough spot when it comes to third-party support for the Nintendo Switch. On one hand, you got a fan base. On one hand, you got some on the fan base, especially those who make a lot of noise, who basically argue that you only buy Nintendo for Nintendo games, and that third-party support isn't important, which I strongly disagree with, even though I'm a Nintendo fan. But on the other hand, you also have third-party developers and publishers that basically treat Nintendo fans like second-class citizens and don't put time and effort into their games. So it puts us consumers and put us moderate Nintendo fans who love Nintendo games but also want to see strong third-party support in a very, very tough spot. Now, like I said, I don't want these games to fail or anything like that. I want them to succeed. I hope they succeed. I hope that NBA 2K succeeds and WWE 2K18 succeed, if I'm saying them correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. So that we could get more support from companies like 2K. Maybe they'll bring, the Borderlands series, or maybe try to bring Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 over. Maybe try to bring XCOM over. I want Skyrim to succeed. Yes, I'm aware it's at a disadvantage since this is a port of a 60-year-old game, but I want that to succeed, to see maybe more games from Bethesda. Maybe Fallout 4 coming to Nintendo Switch. Maybe the Wolfenstein series coming over as well. Maybe Evil Within at some point, or Evil Within 2. And although I think this is possibly could be a long shot, and there's a chance it's highly unlikely that will come to the Switch, Doom for that matter. So yes, I want these games to succeed as well. I also want Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle to succeed so we could get more support from Ubisoft, because I feel that Ubisoft has done a better job this year despite some hiccups. Look at For Honor, for example. But I do want these games to succeed. But I need to see these developers put time and effort into this game. I need them to convince me, outside of because you can play this on the Switch, which is a portable and handheld hybrid, that you are putting time and effort into these games. So, bottom line is, I do think Commonwealth Realm has some good points that they pointed out, though. I do think, like I said, part of the blame falls on some Nintendo fans, but part of the blame also falls on third-party developers and publishers as well. So I'm hoping that the third-party support for the Switch this time is better than it was on the Wii U, okay? We'll have to wait and see how it is. We have to give the Switch, I think, maybe a whole year. I could be wrong, but we'll have to give it a whole year to see where the Switch stands right now. As of where it stands, it seems to be doing well, but we'll have to wait and see within a year. But bottom line, hopefully the third-party support is good this time around. But that all depends on how Nintendo fans treat third-party developers and how third-party developers treat Nintendo and Switch owners as well. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the resolution and graphic options for Fire Emblem Warriors? Are you happy that they're giving you the option to use a higher resolution but running at 30 frames per second? or a lower resolution and running at 60 frames per second? Are you happy with that decision? Or are you not happy with that decision and you prefer a 1080p 60 frames per second? And what are your thoughts about the collector's edition? Are you looking forward to getting it, or do you don't really care at all? What about No More Heroes Travis Strikes Back? Are you excited as I am? Are you looking forward to trying that game out, or were you not a fan of the first or second one that came out on the Wii back in 2008 and 2010? And what are your thoughts about NBA 2K? Are you looking forward to trying that out on the Switch, or are you sticking with either getting it for the Xbox One or PS4 or even the PC version? Do you think the game has a chance to succeed given how much time and effort that 2K is putting into the game? Do you don't think they have a chance? And what are your thoughts about Commonwealth Realm's video? Do you think they're right about criticizing third-party support and developers? Do you think they're right to criticize Nintendo fans as well, or do you think they went a little bit overboard on their video? Again, links will be in the description, you can check it out. As always, sound off on the comment section below, let me know what you think. I hope you hit that like button, I would appreciate it, and I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or through Patreon. Again, links will be in the description of this video so you can check it out. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good afternoon. Bye!